What's up, guys? It's Coach Nedu. Today I'm talking about free weights versus machines. Which is better? The ultimate debate. No, it's not really an ultimate debate, guys. So let's dive into the difference between, or the pros and cons between machines and free weights. So let's talk about machines. Some of the pros, yes, there are actually pros to using machines, but let's talk about them. Number one, machines are easy to learn, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. There's a picture that shows you what to do. It isolates the muscle. So yes, that's also another one of the benefits is isolation. So literally just isolating or focusing on that single muscle. Number three, I already talked about too, is you can also train at heavier loads without a spotter. So no one to assist you with lifting, because you can actually put a ton of weight on there and execute at higher or heavier loads. And then number four is the elderly population and or rehab. So in certain instances, machines are required for rehab or the elderly population, just learning body control. What are some of the cons? Well, some of the cons to using machines is that, one, machines are not functional. What does that mean? There's a huge topic about what's functional, what's not functional. Pretty much, it doesn't translate over into your everyday life or your primal movements that we do all the time, like squats and push-ups and pull-ups, stuff like that. So it doesn't have this easy carryover into things we do in our everyday life, because again, there has to be a machine there, right? So when the machine's there, you can't execute the movement. Also, machines tend to be expensive, right? So you can't just work out anywhere on the go all the time. There has to be a piece of equipment there or a machine, so it's pretty expensive. Also, they neglect to use your stabilizer muscles. These are the small muscles that help your larger muscles do their job. So these are some of the cons to using machines. Also, here's one con that I just thought about. Actually, machines fill up so quick. When you go to the gym, guess what? All the machines are taken up. Very rarely do you see too many gyms where all the free weights are taken up. So those are some of the pros and cons to using a machine. So let's talk about who would use these. Well, bodybuilders, when they're looking to isolate a muscle, right? This is pure aesthetics. I just want to isolate my bicep. Focus just on that. So I get to work my biceps, they'll look bigger. The elderly and also beginners at times, whenever they don't know anything about anything and have no help, a machine. So let's talk about free weights. There are some pros and cons to using free weights. Let's talk about some of the pros. Pros. Functional. Using free weights is functional. What does this mean? So you get to use free weights in a three-dimensional area, right? Like, it's 3 dimensions. So I get to use different types of range, all full ranges of motion. Whenever I'm using free weights, I get to work my muscles in every range of motion. You can get creative. You don't get bored with these pretty easily. It's also functional because it carries over into everyday life, and you can get pretty creative because there's a vast variety of different things you can do with free weights. Number two, I actually talked about full range of motion. You actually work your stabilizer muscles. So again, we talked about those small muscles that help the larger muscles. Number four, more bang for your buck. When you're pressed for time and you need a workout and you need something that's not expensive, free weights is the way to go. You get more bang for your buck because you work more muscles with more range of motion. Therefore, you burn more calories, in essence, to using that full range of motion. There's endless variation. What else? You could train anywhere, and it's less expensive than using machines. So let's talk about some of the cons to using free weights. So one of the cons is that, yes, there can be a risk of injury because you don't have someone there to teach you how to use free weights. That could be one of the cons. So it takes skill to learn how to use free weights because, again, you're working in 3 dimensions and you're using a piece of equipment. And, yes, you can hurt yourself just like with anything else. Oh yeah, and you need a spotter at times whenever you're loading heavier, you're incorporating heavier loads when using free weights. So using a spotter to kind of assist with these movements. Who would this be ideal for? Well, free weights I'd recommend to most people in general. Most people can benefit from free weights, including bodybuilders. If you want to get bigger, you have to get stronger. If you want to get stronger, you want to use more muscles. Compound movements are the way to go. And so I recommend using that. Athletes. athletes, if you want to reduce injury, you got to work those smaller stabilizer muscles. Because think about it. When we're as an athlete, we're changing direction. We're working in 3D, right? In 3 dimensions, and so it transfers over more easily, to the athletic realm. Remember, we're responding to someone going at us, right? And we got to make a cut or a jump. So free weights is the way to go. Also for rehab and functionality and just getting you back to your everyday movements, that's what I would recommend with free weights. Now, here's the thing: which one is better? Well, you can never say one is better for another because everyone's body is different. So it depends what your goal is. It depends where you're at. It depends what you're trying to accomplish. One may not be better for another. So here at the studio at Stowe Training Systems, what we do is we focus on functional movement and getting people to move around like they would do in any other day. So that is it, guys. Till next time, I'm out.